There come moments, once in a generation, twice maybe, when tectonic forces shift the course of mankind. Everything changes. Everything changes. Apple TV Plus has come along now and changed nothing. This is not one of those moments, okay? Your life is not going to change. But there's some new shows for you to watch, and we're going to talk about some of those. It has arrived. It is November 1st, and it is launch day. I have been up now for untold hours watching Apple TV Plus for you. I did this for you, and I'm tired. You see these bags? These did not happen by accident, okay? So we're going to be talking about Apple TV Plus, kind of some first impressions, how the app itself is working, how the delivery is going, and then yes, I am going to talk about the shows themselves because frankly, that's what this is all about, and that's going to sell you on whether you're going to sign up for this on day one or whether you want to wait for a month or 3 or 40 before you sign up for Apple TV Plus. So let's dive in. Now, if you enjoy what we do here on this channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon. We're here multiple times every week with new videos and live streams on topics like this. Now, Apple TV Plus, I will get to the shows in a few moments. I'll talk about my impressions of the shows and whether they make it worth it to sign up. But let's kind of go through the fact sheet. If you're not aware of some of these facts, it may be worth our while. So, Apple TV Plus, out today, November 1st, $5 a month if you need to sign up for it. If you have purchased a new Apple device, according to the paperwork, a new Apple device since, I think, September 10th, when this was all announced, then you can get Apple TV Plus free for 1 year with that new device. So I put that to the test. It was time for me to buy an iPad anyway, so I bought an iPad, and I went today to sign up for my 1 year free of Apple TV Plus. It didn't work. So I did software updates, and it didn't work. I reset the iPad, it didn't work. I signed out, I signed back in, it didn't work. I did everything I could. I signed in on the computers, I did everything that I could think of to get my Apple TV Plus free for 1 year, and it did not work. However, guy behind the camera, Adam, he's got an iPhone that he just, the new iPhone that came out, and he got that iPhone. It worked fine. I'm not bitter. Look, I'm not bitter. I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for you if you got it to work. But for some reason, something wasn't working with this new iPad that I got. Adam, say hi. Yeah, there you go. All right, so there's Adam. It worked for him. Maybe it worked for you. If you have any wisdom to share, hit the comments below. Let us know what you did. If you had any trouble getting Apple TV Plus working for your 1 year free, let us know what you did. So I'm going to keep working on that, and if I have any wisdom to share, I'll share that in the community tab here on the Reviews.org YouTube channel. As for the devices it's available on, obviously all of these Apple devices. So iPhones, iPads, Macs, MacBooks, you can watch it on any of those devices. Apple TV is what I've got running right behind me here. So you can watch it on any of those, but you can also watch it on a few select smart TVs like Samsung smart TVs or the Roku device. Not Roku smart TVs for some reason, or the older model Roku smart TVs. I don't know exactly how it works, but I did get it working on my Roku Streaming Stick Plus. So I plugged that in, I downloaded the app, I got it working just fine. The only problem is that the app did run pretty slow on my Roku. So it's obviously an app that is optimized for Apple hardware to play nice with Apple software. Roku is not that. It worked okay, it just was a little bit sluggish. So watch out for that if you're using a Roku. Now, a lot of times when we have new software like this, I want to talk about the interface and how things work. With Apple TV Plus, they just put it right into the Apple TV app that you're maybe already used to. So if you've used that before, it's just plugged right into there. So it's worked into the categories just like every other show. It'll just be marked with Apple TV Plus. Now, why do they do that? Well, there are probably lots of reasons. Like I said, you're already used to the Apple TV app, but also there's only 9 shows available. They couldn't fill up an entire app with 9 shows, and so they had to work it into what they already had. There are only 9 things available at launch. It blows my mind that that's all we get, but hey, they had to compete with Disney Plus, so they had to get out there in front. As for how it looks, obviously Apple delivers good product, and so whether I was watching it on iPad or on the Apple TV or on the Roku, I mean, once it got rolling, everything looked great. All the picture quality was great, the sound quality was great, so no problems there. I do have Dolby Atmos setup in the house, so I'll be testing that a little bit later, just not quite yet. But as far as the way everything looks, the 4K HDR, everything's crisp. And so maybe now it's time to talk about what the actual content is, what the shows are that we have to watch. Like I said, I've been up for hours now just consuming content like I've never done in my life, just for you. So I've watched their 4 marquee programs. I watched The Morning Show, See, For All Mankind, and Dickinson, the first episode of each one. And so I have a few thoughts to share about those. If you're interested, this is, of course, like I said, what should sell you or not on whether to sign up for Apple TV+. I am not a media critic, and so I'll keep this fairly brief, okay? But my initial impressions are this. The Morning Show, this is the big marquee program. They have reportedly spent $300 million, if I've got my numbers right, over the first 2 seasons. So a mind-boggling number, and I cannot for the life of me figure out where that money went other than the stars. You've got Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, big names on this show, and I'm sure they're being paid very handsomely, but it's a stand around and talk show. It's Aaron Sorkin on less caffeine. He has less to say, apparently. You know, it's not Aaron Sorkin, but I'm just saying that's the style of it. So if you enjoy shows like that, this one is really well done. It's not quite as clever as it thinks, but it is an interesting entry into the Me Too conversation. It's getting decent marks from critics, and so I think there's a good chance that if you watch it, you'll fall on either the hey, I really like it, or hey, I really don't side of things. So it's going to be a divisive one. See, speaking of divisive, this is the one starring Jason Momoa, post-apocalyptic future in which all of mankind has gone blind. And now there are 2 children born, these twins who are born with the ability to see. And it throws the world into chaos, right? And so this is a very, very high concept show. And like an epic fantasy book or like a great video game, it's taking a long time to develop the story. So if you watch just the first episode like I did, I can kind of see some promise in it, but it is definitely, it's slow developing. So if you aren't in for the long haul on that, maybe don't even bother with it. But if you're somebody who enjoys that style of storytelling, then you may end up enjoying this one. I've kind of enjoyed it. I think it's got like a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. I don't really care. I was enjoying it. It's a little bit weird that these, these post-apocalyptic tribes, hundreds of years in the future, all sound like they're from San Bernardino or something. So it's a little odd, but once you get past that, I think it's good so far. For All Mankind stars Joel Kinnaman. You remember him from RoboCop or Altered Carbon, and now he plays an astronaut in the Apollo program. And this is kind of an altered history situation, similar to Man in the High Castle, but in this one, the Soviets reached the moon first. And so he's an astronaut now trying to figure out what to do with his life. And it focuses on him individually, but also on society broadly and what this would do. So it's kind of interesting to take this concept of, nothing brings a nation together quite like a common enemy. And what if our enemy had actually, won a bunch of, space race battles and that sort of thing. So it's an interesting, another high concept show, but this one definitely, it's less of a leap for the viewer than See is, because it's just, it's set in the 60s. It's you don't have the weird post-apocalyptic design and odd language and that sort of thing. So it's going to be less of a jump for you. This one, I think, is the highest rated one, along with Dickinson. And it's easy to see why. I really enjoyed For All Mankind and would call it recommended viewing. Dickinson is the story of, the story of Emily Dickinson, starring Hailee Steinfeld. She plays Emily Dickinson. But this is kind of an interesting one in that it kind of plays halfway with the period stuff and then halfway with the modern teenage language. And so it's a shock to the system if you're not ready for it. But so far, enjoyable. I'm a fan of Hailee Steinfeld. I think she's a good performer, so you may enjoy this one as well. So on the whole, if we look at all 4 of these marquee programs, and there are some other ones, there's the Oprah one, there's the Elephant Queen, whatever it's called. There are some other programs, but if we look at these marquee ones, the ones that I was able to watch before putting this video together, I would say, like I said up top, this is not life-changing. This is not world-changing. They're good programs, but they're missable up to this point. I've only seen one episode of each, like I said. They're not things that I would encourage people to run out and grab. So here's what I'm going to say. You can do the 1 year free Apple TV Plus with a new device. So if you happen to get a new device, then this is going to be a nice bonus for you, a few shows to watch. Do not go out and spend $1,000 on a new iPhone just to get Apple TV Plus, okay? Please don't do that. But it would be a nice bonus. If you want to give it a shot, they do a 7-day free trial, so you can give it a shot that way. 7-day free trial will allow you to watch at least an episode of all of these, and in fact, you can probably watch quite a bit more than that. So, in my opinion, look, give this a few months. Give it 3 months, give it 6 months, give it 12 months for Apple to fill out this Apple TV Plus library before this becomes a must sign up kind of deal. This is not there yet, but it is enjoyable enough for what it is. Did that make any sense? I don't even know. Hit the comments below. I'm very tired. Tell me how you like Apple TV Plus, whether you've watched any of these programs. Let me know what your take on them is. Hit the comments, give this video a like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back next week. I'm going to go take a nap.